Yo, hello everybody.
Yo.
All right, we're back. Now we don't have any cameras on the guest couch here, but we got Joe Rockstar is here with us.
That's right.
From Broken Filter Live.
Yeah.
Are you guys going to be able to go live and do a tester next week?
Absolutely, was hoping we could do it as soon as possible.
So, well, listen, we're going to be just doing. We're going to be giving all of our broadcasters any slots they want next week, because I know it's another shortened week. But we just want to get people on the air. Obviously, you see all the problems.
Yeah, technical difficulties apparently.
But we expected that. We have to. We had a lot of that at the other place too when we first started out. But so we were bringing up a couple of things.
Let's talk about snow.
No. Some of the stuff that we were talking about right now was important. We got to talk about that.
What, the stuff we were just talking about before while you were waiting to fix the cameras?
Yes. So Joe brought up something, and that'll be a good starting point from that one. So go ahead, man, and I'll lower this.
You want me to talk about the opening lines?
Yes.
This is a great catch. Some people asked J.J. Abrams why the opening lines were, "This will begin to make things right," in reference to the movies making things right from where the prequels took the series. So I thought that was pretty cool. And someone asked JJ about it, saying, "Well, was that a jab at George and the prequels?" And he was like, "Oh, yeah." You know, he didn't really give a straight answer. And
that was a jab from Disney to George.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, Disney let it slide, right? And then we just had a whole list. Actually, I texted it to Frank. If you want to bring it up, you could read that whole New Hope comparison.
Oh, you know, and about the New Hope comparison, because that's the biggest thing out there. I gotta say. And we were talking about that before. I am not offended in any way by the new. Actually, let me send this over to my tablet so it's big enough to.
Yeah, it literally lays out the plot of both movies, and then it inserts the names of the specific characters. You'll see. Frank's going to read it.
Yeah, but there are certain things I don't agree with. I don't think that me personally watching this film. I don't think Han played a mentor type in this film.
He was more of a taxi driver, to be honest with you.
He wasn't. He said he made a comment about how the Force is real. He didn't say the Force is a living. You know. Like,
can we talk about the goosebumps when he said that though? Because even though I saw it in the trailer.
Let me read what Joe sent me. Okay, ready? Now, this is a Star Wars Episode 4 synopsis that they have names and places and things crossed out and replaced with what was inserted for Force Awakens. So here we go. Star Wars Episode 4, crossed out. Episode 7, A New Hope, crossed out. The Force Awakens. An orphan boy, crossed out. Girl named Luke, crossed out. Rey lives on the desert planet Tatooine, crossed that out. Put in Jakku. In relative isolation. R2-D2, cross that out. BB-8, a droid belonging to the Rebellion, cross that out. The Resistance, lands on Tatooine, cross out. Jakku, in a bid to escape the Empire, First Order. So that is that it may relay vital information back to the Rebellion, Resistance. Luke, Rey, finds R2-D2, BB-8, and decides to help it on its mission. The pair come across an old hermit named Obi-Wan Kenobi, Lars Sand Tekka, who tells them what they need to do. The Empire, First Order, in hot pursuit of the droid, lands on Tatooine, Jakku, and burns Rey's hometown. Luke, Rey, manages to find a ship, the Millennium Falcon, and with the help of its owner, Han Solo, and his friend Chewbacca, escape the desert planet, but not without the Empire, First Order, taking a few shots of the Millennium Falcon. The crew soon learn that the Empire, First Order, now has a super weapon the size of a planet, in 7, that can destroy entire planets / solar systems now. While assaulting the new super weapon, a dark force user named Darth Vader, Kylo Ren, kills Luke, Rey's mentor, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Han Solo, which not so, but in either case, despite meeting him for the first time literally a few hours before, Luke, Rey, takes it pretty hard. It's later revealed that Vader, Ren, is actually Rey's father / cousin, who was seduced by the dark side.
Which is theoretical, that part.
Yeah. Vader Ren is under the command of the Emperor, Supreme Leader, Snoke, who is secretly a Sith Lord. I don't think it's a secret, though. During the course of the battle, Luke/Rey's latent Force abilities reveal themselves, and she has a major role in the outcome. Afterwards, Rey must go on an even more isolated planet in order to learn the ways of the Force from a great Jedi warrior named Yoda/now Luke. So, I see that. But what we were saying before, I think it was a little bit more subtle than anything that was just a carbon copy of it all, because it's generational. Everything about Star Wars is generational. Everything is about the sky. Even though it's been expanded in so many ways, it is a story of the Skywalker family. You have history repeating itself, but also I like how there's even hints of Empire in this. I mean, you have Finn, who's in a coma, a.k.a. Carbonite at the end, you know?
Oh, so yeah, I didn't even think of that.
There's a lot of different things. Everything is left off on did we win? Did we not win? There's questions. It wasn't a big victory. Yeah, you got rid of Starkiller Base, but...
You definitely got the same kind of energy as Empire Strikes Back in this film.
Absolutely. There were homages, especially with the scene when Han Solo confronts Rey. I mean, that is literally taking down Empire.
Yes.
The catwalk.
Totally. And now you see Mike May and Joe Olive on the couch. There they are. Boom. There you go.
This is great, though. I mean,
I like this couch, guys.
Yeah, this is a better couch.
Because even let me just say something. Even the critiques that I've seen from super geeks have not been like destroying the film. They said I like the film, but here's what I blah, 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 and they went off and gave their, you know what I'm saying? They gave these kinds of criticisms and like, you know, but then they name all the things they liked about it. It wasn't like, you know, when the prequels came out and there were many people just ripping them apart.
You know, is there anything that you cannot reconcile at all, Joe?
You know, I did go back, and I think there's a lot of intricacies that we're going to watch a million times to pick up on. But I did go see it twice, and I did try to watch a screener, is what I'll call it. It's a screener that was floating around.
A leg boot.
And, you know, there's stuff that happened that get a little iffy, like we've all discussed, and I think I might have messaged one of you guys, maybe Gypsy. I don't know who I was talking to. But the quickness of the Jedi mind trick that Rey picks, you know, all of a sudden blasts out of left field. She has, you know, Force sensitivity for like 10 minutes, and all of a sudden she's pulling that out of her ass.
Think about this, though. They described the Force or showed the Force in such a way that it almost like had they animated it in a way that I almost get from that when Kylo Ren was trying to get the information out of her. It knocked something loose in her.
Actually, I heard a theory on that, and I think it'll back you up. If throughout the whole movie up to that point, if you notice, she's reverse engineering shit. Like in the Millennium Falcon, she talks about bypassing the compressor on the hyperdrive and all that shit.
She's figuring it out.
She figures shit out by seeing it, right? So almost like the way her brain works, once Kylo Ren introduced the Force into her brain reverse engineered it and created the ability.
I gotta say, and here's the other thing that I started to really started to put together as well. The final scene, when I'm sitting there watching it for the third time, and I'm sitting, and I really wanted to just look at Luke's face. The second time, I went in there saying, I have to pay closer attention to this lightsaber vision, and we should talk about that next.
Absolutely,
but
very important. That part
very important, and it just goes to show how I love.
It's funny, Frank. I did the same fucking thing. That's the only part of the movie I'm really gonna fucking focus on.
Got to. And you know the thing that sucked was the second time I went in there, I really had to piss. Moving up to that, I said, "Oh fuck!" Because the first time there was no urine. There was no urine in me. The second time I was like, "Okay, I already saw it," so I was relaxed, and all of a sudden, I have to pee now.
Yeah, go continue.
Second time far more relaxed.
Because I picked like I was like sitting there having to piss. The second time I saw it, I was like, all right, I got to pick the right time to leave, like a time that's kind of like I think I left when they were describing the what's the Death Star? What's the new thing?
Star Killer.
Star Killer. So I left during that part because I was like, all right, whatever. And I came back.
And it's not so. It's not very. Like I said, and I think Gadget Doc asked if anybody reads the expanded universe. I've been all over that since high school, and you have Sun Crusher. That was another type of. It almost looks like a flying lightsaber type of deal that was actually created by the remnants of the Empire to implode suns, to create black holes and actually swallow up solar systems that way, instead of actually shooting individual planets and all that shit. But with this, what I was thinking was, with Rey, first of all, Maz, awesome character.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Awesome character.
Loved it.
And there's something about the Force here that is so. I love how they made the Force accessible, because I could feel exactly what it would take to connect to it. Just to absolutely, everybody here has to know what that feeling is like, to release.
Yeah. They got that point across really well,
and
without having to do much.
Can I chime in about Maz Kanata really quick,
go ahead.
since we're on it? I've read a million theories, and I just said to Anthony before, I always thought I was a theory hound before the movie came out, and now I'm reading all the analysis and everything that everyone's throwing out there, just trying to figure out what I might have missed. And they said, if you listen, Maz Kanata doesn't know shit about Rey, right? She asks Han Solo when Rey starts walking downstairs, "What's up with this girl?"
Who's this girl? Yeah.
And then all of a sudden,
Change the scene.
Maz is downstairs 5 minutes later, right after that vision, talking to her about Jakku and Luke Skywalker.
Almost like there was a conversation taking place while
With Han.
she was going to talk to Finn, saying, okay, and
As if Han did know who she was,
And
and
she
she
even
is
said-
connected to the family.
And she even said that, she goes, I'm no Jedi, but I know the Force.
I've seen those in your eyes and all that shit.
And the other thing with that is, it just goes to show that Jedi. I mean, look at Leia. Leia is obviously Force sensitive. She's a Skywalker, but she did not choose to follow that. That's all. That's the path of a priest, pretty much.
Right.
People are able to feel, religion or anything like that in their lives over here in Earth. Over there, you're able to feel certain things, but whether or not you take that next step to go to the seminary is your thing. But here's the thing that got me. You've already seen how strong she is, and she has the ability to figure it out, and she was able to do things that are highly advanced for anybody that knows anything about Jedi training. Do things that are pretty highly advanced without, first of all, she allowing the Force to guide her lightsaber, and actually best somebody who has been trained in lightsaber battle.
By Luke Skywalker.
Right. She bests him in even just grabbing the lightsaber out of the snow. And then, of course, at the end, when you've already had all this established, I started thinking about this when she comes face to face with Luke and she has a lightsaber. Yes, he turns around. He knows as he's turning around what he's about to face. I really do believe that, aside from all of the implications of her being of the Skywalker bloodline, which is not out of the realm of possibility, because like we said before, this is the story of the Skywalker lineage.
Right.
No matter where the hell she comes from, we'll find out, obviously. But he sensed the Force was so strong in her, he was almost taken aback. And then, of course, to see the lightsaber is one thing, too. Now, if you want to just say that she's not a Skywalker, you can also make that point, too, by saying, here's a woman, here's a girl that she is... you know what? We'll get to that right afterwards. We're taking a call right now. Caller, you're on the air right now.
Bleeding through.
Hello?
Hello, you're on.
is this Ron?
Yeah, this is Ron. What's up, Anthony?
Hey, what's going on, Ron? Yeah, Ron, I was on tour with Ron for the Hailstorm tour. He was doing security. He's also a major Star Wars fan. You got to see this guy's tattoo work. He has... What tattoos do you have? You have like a whole sleeve and your whole leg is done up in Star Wars imagery and stuff.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
I have R2-D2, C-3PO on my feet. I have Chewie, Yoda, Watto, IG-88, Aaliyah Sakura, You know, I mean, the list goes on and on.
Yeah,
I
he
just
doesn't
got,
discriminate.
Order
He has all the
66
prequel
done.
characters, everybody.
So, Ron,
Yeah.
let's start. Since you're our first caller on all this, why don't you just jump? By the way, I'm Frank, and then you're joined here by Matt and Mike and Joe.
Cool. Yeah, and I've been listening, and yeah, I saw it for the third time today as well. I agree with Anthony definitely at the beginning of the show about Kylo Ren. I do think that he is going to be a big threat. I think he's going to come back and he's going to kick some ass. And I mean, you see that he's a little bit timid, and then he just says, "Screw it, I'm going to kill my dad," you know, and we take care of that. And I think he is going to come back. You know, and I think it was a little more realistic, like you guys were talking about with the stormtroopers as well. Chewie gets shot. You know, I mean, you don't see that. You haven't seen that type of stuff yet where these main characters are, you know, getting, you know, shot, impaled, whatever. I mean, yeah, you see Luke lose his hand and stuff, but I mean, all the lasers that we've seen fired in the last 20, 30 years, you know, Chewie finally gets shot, which I thought was a cool little thing. I hated to see it happen, but I thought it was a cool little thing, you know?
So let's see, what's the biggest thing that stands out to you right now? Or you know what? Let's start with, because I think it's pretty obvious that we all really enjoyed the experience. Well, what is there anything? I asked the same question to Joe and Mike before. Is there anything that you cannot reconcile about the story that kind of bothered you, or anything that's open ended that you think was maybe, I don't know, not clarified enough?
No, well, I think they're going to clear. I think they will clear everything up. I mean, they usually do. I think with the expanded universe, like you said, I think it was you that said that. You know, we've been following that, and they've talked about that. They're going to sort of get away from that, but they have and they haven't. So my big thing again, like you guys were talking about, was the Rey. You know, is it Han and Leia's, or is it Luke? And maybe are they going to bring Mara Jade in? Which I would love to see that.
Mara Jade would be awesome.
You know, I mean, just to bring another person that was a dark side. You know, she was the Emperor's right hand. You know, a lot of people don't know that. And then she married Luke Skywalker, you know. But I think everything's going to be explained. There was a few things, I think, like you guys were talking about, too, that all of a sudden, you know, bam, she's, you know, beating the shit out of Kylo Ren with this lightsaber she just picks up. You know, and you can tell when he says something about the Force and she starts adapting to it. But still, he's got a lot of anger, like you talked about, you know, where he's just going off on some of these things, where he gets the bad news and he just starts cutting shit up. And, you know, again, the humor of the stormtroopers turning around and going, "Oh shit, he's going at it again. I'm getting out of here."
I love, you know, the big thing about the whole expanded universe and what they're going to borrow and what they're just going to do their own thing. The one thing J.J. Abrams and the entire crew, they were very, very good at masking what the hell was going to go on. Very, very good at that. But as far as the absence of Luke Skywalker, the one thing that I know that on this show at least we were very, very clear about was I really thought that he was going to be on his own little Dagobah trip, because if you read into any of his attempts to reestablish the Jedi Order, I mean, there have been problems he's had with students that turn, especially when they went back to the moon of Yavin 4. They found that Jedi temple, and of course the ghost of Exar Kun comes back and starts fucking with everybody's heads. And you know, I started thinking, I know they're not going to get into this, but what if it's something like that? And boom, Kylo Ren was a student that went wrong.
Ron, who do you think? Do you have any idea or predictions of who exactly Snook is? Was it Snook?
Snooky.
I'm still learning.
I'm not sure, because, you know, I tried to read into that, and like you guys do. I mean, I was on the internet the next day going, okay, who is this guy? Where's he from? You know, and I think it is still very secretive. So I think I really don't know where it's going to come from. And it's the same with Finn. I don't know where he's going to fit into this.
Yeah.
You know, I think they were politically correct putting him in there as the main character nowadays. You know, so I think that draws a little bit more to the Star Wars base, which I think is sort of cool.
Yeah.
You know, but I think also, you know, I think with Luke Skywalker, he really doesn't get the proper Jedi training like everybody else has. Okay, yeah, he goes to Yoda for who knows how long that he's there for? What, a couple days, a week?
Exactly. Yeah.
He's on Dagobah.
Yeah.
You know, and then he goes, and eventually he goes back, but he does a little bit of Jedi training in between Empire and Return of the Jedi, and all of a sudden, all he's got to do is kill his father to be a Jedi. Yeah, so I think he still has the lack of that. Some of these other masters to train people.
Let me ask everybody in the room something, and then Mike May, I want to hear what you were about to say. A lot of people came up to me. Well, not to me, but I had one or two conversations with people, and then I just saw a lot of people asking the question, making the observation that you had Finn, who was we all thought that he was going to be the Force sensitive character.
They made him look that way.
They made him look that way because he's wielding the lightsaber.
Love how they threw that in.
But I have to say, I do not believe that he is Force sensitive.
Neither do I.
And when people then he's the only character ever use a lightsaber. Well, Han used it to open up the Tauntaun. We know that. But there is one other part in Force Awakens you've got to remember that, first of all, like we said before, these stormtroopers are not useless dunces anymore. The second thing is that when they're over there, what's the system where Maz is at? What's that system again?
Shit, I don't remember.
Well, in either case,
when the Resistance came.
Yeah, when the Resistance came over there, you started seeing that not only are stormtroopers, not only are they not all clones anymore, but their training is so in depth that they even have melee weapons training. Okay, so that guy is out there. That one
Called him a traitor. Called him a traitor. And they went at it.
And they went at it. So they all know how to use melee weapons. So I completely, of course you can hack somebody apart.
Can we go back around real quick? Because I have something that we kind of passed over that I wanted to mention. Kylo Ren and Rey and their relationship, how we're kind of iffy. Have we discussed how people think that he might know who she is? That he might recognize her?
I don't know.
Because and you know the part when he threw the temper tantrum?
Yeah.
And he's like, anything else? And the guy goes, and there was a girl. And he turns around really quick and Force chokes him and goes, what girl? And that's the end of the scene. Almost like he knew there was a Force-sensitive girl on Jakku before that. And they said they got away.
That's definitely a good point.
I definitely
He definitely knows. Whoever she is, he knows.
If he knew, though, if there was intelligence that they knew that there was a Force-sensitive character or a Force-sensitive person on Jakku of any importance, okay, then why the hell? Or maybe
I think it was his sister. I think he killed every Padawan except her and put her there so they didn't have to kill her.
But then again, the whole sister thing. We would then have to know what their ages are.
Hey, wait, Ron, what were you saying?
Well, and I think too as well is, how do Han Solo and Leia not even flinch, when this girl comes into their life?
Right.
If this is their daughter, they know they gave her up somewhere. But again, at the end, you see Luke and her, and there's not a word said.
Maybe it was Luke's daughter, and Kylo. And Kylo made it seem like he killed her, but he didn't want to, so he dropped her off on Jakku, and just left her there.
That's the theory I agree with. I definitely think that she is Luke's daughter.
Yeah, I would have to say if she's anybody's daughter, she's Luke's daughter, because other than that, let's think about this. Kylo Ren had to grow up first. Leia sends him to train with Luke. Then he gets seduced by the dark side and does his thing. Okay, so up until that point, there's absolutely no reason to separate the two siblings if they actually are, in fact, siblings. There is no reason to separate them. And if they are, first of all, they look similar in age. If they aren't, okay, we know the whole twin thing, Jason and Jaina, and then eventually Anakin Solo. But if they are twins or even similar in age, there's no reconcilable reason why they would have been split apart when there was no reason to.
He did it. I think he did it when he decided to. Remember, they show him turning on Luke and the entire Padawan training. So they say he killed all the Padawans.
This was in the dream sequence.
That Kylo Ren, in the flashback dream sequence, Rey's dream sequence, it's said that he kills every Padawan that Luke was training at the new academy. Maybe he didn't kill his sister, cousin, whoever, and left her on Jakku instead of killing her because he didn't want to do that. But he killed everybody else.
So then are we saying that she was an infant?
In the shot, she was 4. I mean, in the flashback, she looked 4, 5. Tops?
Yeah, I think she's younger. I don't think she's a twin. I think
she's just
she
younger.
Luke's, and I think that could be a good theory that she could be, and he did that as well. Like you said, just killed everybody. And I also we're on that flashback. I think it was so cool, and I know all four of you guys got it, was you hear Ben say her name. Yeah. And I got chills when you hear Ben say that, you know. And I thought that was so cool when she's flashing back and he says her name. You know, you can tell he's in there as well, which is cool.
What if she's the lineage of Kenobi?
That's interesting.
Yeah, she could be.
That's interesting.
She could be, but I think I don't know.
Well, yeah.
That would be tough. That would be tough to swallow, I think, and tough to explain. But again, we've look where we've come so far. So I think it could be. But I think that my money would be on Luke.
Me too.
Yeah, no, because I realized too that and it's the same thing that we talked about before with Finn being related to Mace Windu, which is ridiculous. It's like we're forgetting that these are the prequels. The prequels are so far apart from the original trilogy that it just wouldn't make sense if she.
Unless it was a niece of Kenobi, someone that was
Yeah, but Kenobi he just seems like he was just always a hermit.
Yeah,
like he didn't have anybody.
Right, and Satine was the only one that he actually had like a relationship with.
Gadget Doc
is Clone Wars.
Gadget Doc brings up a good point too. He says Ben was dead in A New Hope. First of all, in A New Hope, Obi-Wan Kenobi was in his 70s.
Right.
Okay, so there's no way he's fathering a child that would then be raised aged 40 years later.
It could be a cousin and niece and nephew. I'm just throwing out ideas here.
Here's one thing I will say about the whole the final the lightsaber battle and encounter in the forest, which I love, by the way. I love a lightsaber battle in a snowy, dark forest.
Yeah.
That is so awesome, man.
Kill me.
That was such a perfect setting. But the thing I'll say about that is Kylo Ren could have ended Finn right there.
Yes.
I mean,
he toyed with Finn.
He must. Yeah, it must have just been like, yeah. But then again, the other thing too is he wasn't at that point. He was so desperate and not focused. I mean, he was like a loose cannon. He was all over the place. He was punching his wound. He was just like all rage and no focus.
Yeah, what was that about?
Just sick.
He was completely nuts. It's like, and I think that probably was the reason why he was so easy to fight with someone who didn't have much training, because he was just not focused and not confident.
Kale in the chat room says, note, this is what we were talking about before, note Luke's face when she shows up. He didn't seem like he was looking at a stranger. Number one, yes, it didn't.
There was
look
a lot
like,
of emotion.
There was a lot of stuff going on there. Number one, whether or not they knew each other, which there is definitely that implication, she is holding out a lightsaber that is such an extremely important relic of the Force that carries such an aura in itself that if it called to anybody, whether or not it be Skywalker lineage or not, it is still going to be very, very, very influential on the person who holds it. Number two, he is a Jedi master at this point, the last Jedi out there. He is absolutely, without even looking at her, he is feeling the Force in her, which has already been established to be very, very strong. So whether or not there is a family familiarity there is already a recognition of what power she brings.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things there. Obviously, we can only speculate for the next 2 years. Fuck! I hate that.
Right. Well, and I think they ended it. They ended it good. But again, another one of the things that they were saying in some of these websites is we go from you go from the end of that movie to 2 or 3 or 5 years later, whatever the case might be. So again, we would. I think everybody on this show would love to, pick up right then and there and see what that conversation is. But I don't think you're going to. You're going to come a year and a half, 2 years later, where she's trained and we get a little bit more story of a background on who everybody is. But again, I think it's going to go past that, 1 or 2 or 3 years.
I want to give kudos to JJ for that last fucking aerial shot, pulling out and spinning around the fucking island.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. No, and Rob, I got to say, you just said that you think everybody on the show would like to pick up where it is right now. At this point, I want to see so much stuff right now that I wouldn't mind if I watched 25 minutes of Luke Skywalker eating cereal. Breakfast cereal. Just like, what did he do the next morning? I just want to watch him do stuff.
That's what we should do. Have somebody dress up as Luke Skywalker and just make a thing with him.
Well, I want to know how much.
We should make fake trailers. We should make fake trailers.
Well, I thought it was funny too. I was saying before that, like a funny idea would be to to just to do like a spoof of like a fan spoof of people who don't want to let go of Han Solo so much so they make an excuse that he's still living and he's actually hanging like Crispin Glover in Back to the Future 2 on one of those things, just to make up an excuse that like he only is just paralyzed now, like he
took a lightsaber to the fucking chest, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And that's my ultimate.
He somehow managed to escape a serious injury.
I heard
it passed all his vitals, and now he's just really paralyzed.
And he escaped the planet that was about to
that's
implode.
the ultimate rumor.
Right, yeah,
bullshit
exactly.
that people are
I heard that
Han
too.
Solo's still alive.
There is a crazy theory that I would like to read. I didn't even bring this up to you, but I think you guys might get a kick out of this. Obviously, we're doing the whole fucking speculation. We'll be doing this for another year and a half. But let me read this one to you. I posted it up on my Facebook earlier today. It goes, okay, so we just got out of our second Force Awakens showing, and my dad was driving us home, and out of nowhere was like, oh my God, here's the theory. What if Kylo Ren chose to go to the dark side so he could help the light side? And I was like, what? So he was like, hear me out. He went to the dark side just to kill Snoke. And that's why he's so conflicted. And that's why he feels the temptation of the light side stronger than the dark. That's why he talks to Vader's helmet, because he's going to finish what Anakin, the Chosen One, started. Meaning at the end, like killing the Emperor and actually bringing balance to the Force, even though he was Sith, but he turned back. Anyway, he had to completely turn away from his family in order to do that. To become a Sith fully and completely, you have to sacrifice someone you love to death. In this case, it was Han. That's why he tells Han he feels like he's being torn apart inside because he doesn't want to do it at all, but it's the only possible way to become Sith and complete his task. Kylo literally uttered the words, "Will you help me?" to Han, and Han says, "Anything you need." What he's asking if Han will die in order for him to complete his fucking task. That's why it looked like he knew who Rey was, because he needs to protect her. That's why he offers her to be the teacher. He needs someone as powerful as Rey. It'll be literally the dark side and the light side joining up to defeat one enemy together as one.
It's a stretch only because that is a pretty contrived way of eliminating one Sith. Why would you kill all of the Jedi to eliminate one Sith?
I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, that's the only thing that wouldn't work for me.
I thought it was interesting to think of it that way, because I never would have. But, that's the thing I'm expecting.
It's a different way to think of it, but I highly doubt that's going to happen.
I highly doubt it, too.
Gadget Doc asks, who did Vader sacrifice that he loved? I mean, he didn't really sacrifice...
Well, he thought he killed Padme. Well, he did. He kind of did.
But it wasn't a willing sacrifice. Vader was... Anakin was just... He was as tormented as Ben was. But Ben is literally, he's like sloppy seconds. Oh man, like Anthony said, complete tool. He's a tool, and that's why when you look at him, you go, yeah,
Ben Solo.
Ben Solo.
Okay.
When you Kylo Ren, when you look at him, you say, oh, this kid, he's a petulant little child, and you look at him, he's temper tantrums and this and that, and he acts like a little bitch, and
he's like Odell Beckham Jr.
Right. But at the same time, if you think about it, think about how emotionally unstable he is and how emo he really is. It really is, and I hate to make this reference, it's almost as if one of the Columbine shooters was a Sith. Just a fucked up little teenager that is just so driven by some crazy concept of what they're accomplishing. I don't know. I think that his babyishness was actually a very unsettling part about him, because he's unstable. He's a loose cannon. He is unstable. Vader was a little bit more. I mean, the guy was consumed. He was conceived by the Force, apparently. So it's just.
I think it's apparent that he's unstable, because look at his lightsaber. His lightsaber is not stable. If you watch it and you see he is not a full Sith or full Jedi, in my opinion, because of how unstable his lightsaber is. Yeah, it's badass. But again, if you look at the lightsaber and you look at Kylo Ren's new style lightsaber, it is not very. It's stable, but it's not like a lightsaber. So there's some sort of crystal that's missing.
It's almost as if that his lightsaber is almost like on the brink of sputtering out.
Yes, right.
So
there's not that crystal that he has. He has not. And that's and if you get some of the deleted scenes and stuff, they actually show that, which is really cool, about Luke actually being finally able to make his own lightsaber, which is cool, and like all the Jedi do, and that's part of their training. So obviously he has not gone through that to make his own lightsaber. So that is probably as unstable as he is. Like you guys are saying, which I agree with.
Yeah.
I liked that he was unstable because it created such a different kind of villain from where you had Vader, who was stoic. He'd even get mad and he'd force choke somebody, but you didn't see any sort of real
emotions.
Yeah, emotions. Whereas I liked having the villain be an unpredictable, emotional fucking Looney Tune.
But the beginning of the film, I loved how you see you see how everything gets to his head throughout the film, because in the beginning of the film, he stopped a blaster rifle shot.
Oh, it's my favorite fucking shot of the whole movie.
And held it there.
Yeah. Amazing.
He came out like a real, he seemed very confident at first.
You know what? I do have an issue with that, though, because it takes a very, very powerful Force user to do that. And that's the one thing that didn't gel with me.
You want me to offer my 2 cents on that?
Yeah, go ahead.
It seriously seems like as Rey makes her presence known, as he becomes more aware of her presence and her power, his power starts diminishing. Because
balance.
It's balance, and not only that, he started becoming less and less of a believer in himself. He was insecure about whether or not he would ever be able to be as strong as Darth Vader.
Oh yeah, that was it right there.
He thought he was the only player on the playing field at first.
When she said that you're afraid that you'll never be as powerful as Darth Vader,
he was fucked.
That was the downfall from there.
Turning point for him.
Yeah.
He started losing it.
She reverse engineered the head game.
That's it.
She literally just threw it back on. I love this fucking movie. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's a great fucking movie. The more you talk about it, maybe at first there's a lot of people maybe there's some people at first who didn't really see the tiny nuances, but you have to watch it a bunch of times to catch them if you really.
I'm really glad I went 2 days in a row. I went Friday night and Saturday morning. I literally wasted as soon as the last show and the first show. That way I kept it all fresh. I was proud of myself.
Absolutely.
It also broke records for the high. I think the highest Sunday viewing.
It did.
You saw that?
Yeah. Both the highest Sunday, the highest Monday,
Thursday,
first to 300 million. It's broken every single record, unfortunately, except for that international.
Well, the whole that kills me because I wanted it to beat Jurassic World. I wanted it to beat Jurassic World so bad because I hated Jurassic World.
Jurassic World sucks.
Read on that.
I didn't hate that.
Ron,
I didn't hate it.
Ron, what did you think of Jurassic World?
Absolutely.
I didn't. Honestly, I didn't even watch it. I didn't even want to. Nope.
Well, when you want to talk, there's a lot of people who talk plagiarism with for The Force Awakens and A New Hope, but you want real plagiarism. It's Jurassic World and Jurassic Park. That's I mean.
Yeah, and I think there were, like you guys were saying, there are some comparisons to that, and yeah, you could go back and. I mean, you guys know, and me and Anthony are probably going to call in the next couple of weeks here and just talk for hours and hours about it, and we all could, and we only have so much time we can speculate everything. But I do. In all, I think they did a good job. I do think that they picked some good characters, and we're all on the edge of our seats for the next year and a half, at least for number 8. We only got a year to wait for Rogue One, which is cool. But we're talking about it, and we're going to talk about it for the next year and a half until it comes out. Then we're going to continue to talk about it for number 9.
And then we're going to do this for another decade.
Now, 9 is it going to be 7, 8, 9, and then that's it?
No, Disney actually came out and said that they're ready to continue forever.
Yeah,
really?
We're never going to see in our lifetime. We're not going to see the end of Star Wars.
I want to be able to see the end of Star Wars.
But the cool thing, guys, and I know I'm older than all you guys, but the cool thing, especially for you guys as well, is from the time I was a child until I die, Star Wars will be in my life and all of your lives.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's true.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Because for a long time, it seemed like it was just going to be rotting. But then again, I guess
I knew they were going to revisit it. I knew that it was too special not to go back.
Well, yeah. How do you do 4, 5, 6, and that's it, everybody?
Well, did anyone else as a child? I know we were all around the same age. When at the end of Return of the Jedi, I just didn't feel like anything. Like I was like, well, what else happened? What else?
That was one of those. Jedi's one of those films that, first of all, you wanted to party with them on Endor.
Oh yeah.
Right.
and it's just like oh man, I just want to keep I don't want it to end, know.
Yeah.
And that's the other reason why I was upset about Han Solo's death, not because they shouldn't have done it, but it was it took a lot of balls to do that, and it was very good for Kylo Ren's development as a character and whatever. But the thing is, You know, the thing that bothered me about Han Solo's death is like, well, Han Solo's dead, but it also bothers me because Harrison Ford is getting older, and you know that the day's coming that he's going to die for real soon.
Yeah. I think they kind of did that on purpose, just in case.
Well, it really was
Not soon, not like soon. You know what I mean, though? Like, I mean, it's just you don't want to say goodbye to these people, you know?
Or his
Well,
choice.
and I'm sure you guys know that he wanted to be killed off in Empire or Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Well, that's the Colt Carbonite, right? He didn't sign back up for Jedi, and they were like, okay, we're going to have to freeze him up here.
Yep.
Right. So, but I think it was. I think we'll definitely be talking about this for a long, long time and speculating until the next one comes out, which is a good thing.
Well, dude, thank you so much for the call, man. This was awesome for you to join us, man.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys for having me, and we'll talk soon. Anthony, I'll give you a shout, buddy. You guys all have a good Christmas and holiday.
You
all
too.
right, dude. You too.
Be well.
See you.
Do we have time for something else? Or
Oh, yeah. Let's keep going for a couple minutes.
Did you hear this discussion point, which is probably better than the last one I brought up, so I hope I redeem myself on this, that it makes no sense to have a map to a person? Why is there a map to Luke Skywalker? Like, where did this map to Luke Skywalker come from? And if you listen to Han Solo's dialogue, he says that Luke was probably at the first Jedi Temple. They think, this is another theory or discussion, that they think Kylo Ren wasn't necessarily looking for Luke. He was looking for the first Jedi Temple. Because the first Jedi Temple would help him gain more power.
Yeah.
The first Jedi Temple is what he was looking for.
He's looking for artifacts.
And Luke isn't necessarily in hiding. Luke's standing there to protect it in case Kylo Ren finds it.
That's interesting.
That sounds like a really interesting.
Because if a map to a person doesn't make any fucking sense. A map to a place actually makes sense. Kylo Ren wasn't looking for Luke necessarily. He was looking for the fucking temple.
Johnny Kimball's on from New Hampshire. What's going on, man?
Okay, so him being on wherever the hell he is, that map, there was a theory that R2-D2 had that map. Not necessarily Luke gave it to him to later release to the, someone, like when Rey came aboard, say he released it or whatever. I read a theory that R2-D2 jacked that map from the Death Star, and that the Sith were looking for that same location in the past.
That's the continuation of what I was saying. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. You definitely backed me up on that theory.
Yeah, there was a 15-second delay. Sorry if I
No. I appreciate it because I left it out, and you definitely helped me along with that. Yeah. So R2 had the fucking map because they had already had it on the Death Star back in Empire.
Oh, the one thing that we have not brought up yet that needs to be given a major salute to is the character of Poe Dameron. Oh man.
Oh, that
well
was
done.
Great.
I want more of him.
Love him.
Oscar Isaac, man.
He's actually one of my favorites.
Han Solo 2.0.
Dude, it was awesome to see. First of all of the interactions between all the main characters were natural. It was just completely free.
How does this work? Do I talk? Do you talk? Do I talk first?
Awesome.
Or you need a pilot. Yeah, I need a pilot.
We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. Oh man, I just like okay. This is great. We're seeing it all set. Even though they knew each other for a very short period of time, all of the connections, the bonds they made in that short period of time, it worked well. It wasn't contrived. It wasn't a stretch. They were genuinely happy to see each other. The giving of the official giving of the jacket to Finn was so natural, and I really
and
just
the
loved
dialogue
it.
was great too because like he goes, why do you want to escape? Because it's the right thing to do. You need a pilot. Yes.
Just great. And he's like, you know what? That's good enough for me. Let's get the fuck out of here. You know?
What did you guys think about
Let's
the
blow this
two-seated
taco
TIE
stand.
fighter?
What'd you say, Johnny?
The two-seated TIE fighter. I don't think we've seen that previously.
It's a new. That's everything I'm just seeing here.
It's
Everything
just
is.
updates.
It's a new order TIE fighter. It's just.
I mean, that's fair. There are some people pissed off about it, but I'm just like, and also, Poe says, he goes, "Wow, this thing can move," as in, maybe it's a special, it's a limited edition or some shit like that.
TIEs. If we're just gonna geek out for a little bit, TIE fighters.
Gladly.
TIE fighters have always just been. That's the leg up they have on Republic vessels. Aside from A-wings, they have supreme maneuverability and speed. They don't have shields though, and they don't have They don't have. They're only equipped with sublight engines, so they can't go to hyperspace.
We ran into this problem on Battlefront last night.
Right.
And then, of course, let's not forget one of the best scenes when when Han Solo and Finn.
Yes.
Han Solo and Finn, he goes, so what was your position? It was sanitation. They're counting on us. Oh, we can use the Force. That's not how the Force works.
Yeah, we could use the Force. Oh, my God, is the great... Dude, I tell you, I went on Tumblr to just make a Star Wars blog because I said, you know what, I'm just gonna make a Star Wars blog and just have some fun with it. And the first 3 blog titles I tried was "That's Not How the Force Works." It was taken. "How the Force Works" was taken, and
I'm in charge now, Phasma, because that would have been fun.
That'd be good. That's you know what?
I'm so glad that little trope of Finn being goofy and in that Phasma Finn interaction ended right there. I felt like it could have gone full Marvel universe, oh, look at me, I'm so strong now. But Han was like, all right, dude, relax. And then he comes back to Earth for a second. I thought that was good.
It was great, very tasteful.
Right.
Very tasteful.
And it's not so much, Joe brought up he gave me that thing here that's pretty much ties in Han's role with what Ben Kenobi's role was in A New Hope as far as being that mentor. Not so much a mentor, because you can tell the best thing about Han Solo is it sucks that he's dead. The character is gone. But he was Han Solo to the end. He was prickly. He was hard to warm up. He was not gonna, he was never gonna let you think that he liked you. He was very hard to get to. Okay,
he even said to Rey, Chewie likes you.
Yeah, he goes, I wouldn't be nice to you.
Chewie likes you.
It doesn't pay much. It's like he's trying to hire her, but he's trying to tell her, I don't want you to work for me.
Yeah, Chewie likes you, right?
And it was just, it's kind of good because Chewie kind of likes you. But I think it was just cool that instead of being like a mentor, he was a little bit more of that gut check to the newer characters just to point out where they're naive. He wasn't teaching them how to do things, but just saying that, hey, are you kidding me? Like with the blaster, I know how to handle myself. Mm-hmm. He goes well, you just point and shoot. That you see, it's not about pointing and shooting. It's about how to use it.
Right.
When do you point and shoot?
No, that's a big analogy, I think, to the whole relationship between the new and old generation of characters we're dealing with.
Yeah, totally. Well, you know what I'll do? I will take this episode and I'll cut it off at where we had the problem with the camera, and I'll just take the audio from when we come back from that break and Joe is here. That'll be the starting point. Because the audio should be pretty good, but
yeah, well, actually, the audio was good.
Yeah.
I heard it out there.
This is good.
Cheering a little.
This is a good show. I think we got everything out.
I think we got everything out. But then again, if we don't...
I was going to say, you're going to say that, but we'll still talk about it.
Snoke is Plagueis.
I haven't stopped talking about it since I saw it.
Who said Snoke is Plagueis?
Who's Plagueis? I just did.
Snoke is Plagueis? I didn't hear that.
Absolutely Darth Plagueis.
Oh, and that's the other thing too. I don't have a problem with everyone. That was a common criticism I saw with the problem with the way Snoke looked, and I don't really have a problem with him at all. I mean, it's still unclear of how big he actually is. If that was just a very big hologram or whatever, but
I like that trick. I like that cinematic trick to make him almost, I think, seem like a bigger entity.
Yes. Let's talk about.
No one thought that was a hologram.
Well,
no, not at first.
Let's talk about that for a second. Number one, I did think it was a hologram. I saw it. You can see the projection, but hologram or no, I absolutely love that it projected Snoke to be larger than he probably is.
Right.
I love the chamber in which they meet. It's very evil cathedral-like. I love it all. I think that the dialogue was very, very solid. There wasn't a lot of cheese in there. Also,
big voice. Very big,
echoey,
full, echoey, deep. voice, it brought a different energy than Emperor Palpatine, which I think you need, because then if you did another cloaked guy, it'd just be like, all right, here's Emperor Palpatine again.
Use your anger, Kylo.
You know?
Sharon in the chat room says, can I mention, while we're giving kudos to characters, that one of my favorite parts was when Chewie avenged Han's death. Chewie always had a temper, but I think that it was the most protective moment, showing their relationship in full light. And I have to say that, yeah, Chewie was, I mean, his personality was amazing in this. As far as his wit, he's gotten a little bit more, he was a little bit blasé about what they've done in the past. I don't know if Han's a hero. I don't know. How he's kind of like, doing the little pediatrician dialogue with the doctor, like, oh, you must be very brave.
That was amazing.
It was awesome, but then when Han went down, there was real pain there, man. You felt Chewie's heart get ripped out, and then he just went and fucking went Boardwalk Empire on everyone. He just fucking took everything. Dude, it was awesome. It was awesome, and I'm glad that he got one shot in.
I thought it was a little weird how he did just walk past Leia and didn't hug her,
Yeah.
You would think that he would be mourning and embracing Leia, but then I started thinking the other thing I started thinking was that we know, based on the dialogue between Leia and Han, that they didn't leave off, that they had something going on there. They weren't like together, that they haven't seen each other for a while. Like, things kind of were probably rocky between them. So maybe in some way he was just like kind of kept to himself.
Yeah, and then you saw him head in hands, just like, I can't believe it just happened. You saw him mourning afterwards.
It definitely might have been just a state of grief. He was just a little disassociated, so he just kind of kept to himself. I mean, I don't think that's a ridiculous idea that he didn't go and embrace Leia or something like that. A lot of people were hating that, but I'm just like, people grieve in different ways. I don't know how Wookiees grieve.
What about Leia embracing Rey immediately when that's the first time they've ever seen each other?
Yes, that still was odd. That we'll probably see what the hell that is all about. Obviously, Leia is sensitive to shit. The last thing I'll leave off on is I really can't wait to hear what that is a question for another time. Maz, when she said, how did you get that lightsaber? I can't wait to see how they recover that lightsaber from Bespin. Yeah, I can't wait for that.
Yep.
I love how it was
Maz
posed.
is Rey's mother.
Everybody's related.
It's Yoda's cousin, bitch.
Everybody's related.
Oh, I think Yoda and Maz fucked, undoubtedly.
That's it. Yoda injected the Force into her.
Your daddy, I am.
So.
I have a brief question. How did you guys like Leia and Han Solo's conversation?
She's actually the weakest link in the whole thing, to be honest.
Okay, thank you.
But she didn't ruin the film.
She didn't ruin it, but she didn't have a lot of presence.
She definitely didn't go easy on the fucking cigarettes and whiskey over the past 30 years, because that
that's
voice
clear.
took a hit.
And it's good. And it's good to know that in the Star Wars universe, there's still Botox. There's still Botox in the Star Wars universe, and
I told you our daughter was in the film.
yeah, you pointed that out. Oh, real quick,
Who was in the film?
Carrie Fisher's daughter.
Oh,
she's in the back. But also, there's a couple of other cameos. Daniel Craig was the stormtrooper that got the mind trick on in Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
Who told me that yesterday? Gypsy?
Yeah. And the big and Simon Pegg was the fucking
He was
the portion guy.
Yeah.
1/4 portion. Okay.
We also have throwbacks to, what's his name? Nia Nub and Admiral Akbar. I love that.
Yes.
Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar was in there.
Admiral.
Some J.J. Abrams shout-outs with cast members of Lost and Heroes in that same scene with Akbar.
Was that... Who was the fat guy in the X-Wing? I felt like
that was the guy from Heroes that J.J.
He's in
Heroes.
basketball.
He's in basketball.
He is
Oh my God!
He's definitely in basketball. He's one of the Italian in that Italian team that gets grossed out by Coop eating the tinfoil.
Yes. Oh my God, that movie.
There's always one fat guy in the X-wing that can barely fit in the cockpit.
Daniel Craig.
Porkins was the other guy in the original trilogy. Porkins.
Daniel Craig was the stormtrooper that Rey got her to unhook
Oh, okay.
hand wrists on when she was tied up. So that's Daniel Craig.
You know, it was built like Daniel Craig. Now that I think about it.
Did you guys like the Stormtrooper helmet design?
Yes.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
I thought initially it looked like eye helmet, but then in the movie, I really liked it.
Dude, I knew what we were in for somehow. Something inside me, I knew what we were in for. Just the opening sequence when they're coming down and you see the stormtroopers in the little the transport vehicle and the lights are flickering and it's just kind of like you knew that this was. It almost reminded me of the opening scene in Saving Private Ryan when they're storming the beach.
Beach of
I
Normandy.
was gonna say that. It looked like they were in the
very real
amphibious vehicle.
Just very real. I don't know how else to say it about a science fiction flick. It just felt like, okay, this is. They actually got to this universe and filmed it. Mm-hmm. You know, it was. I was very happy with it. But is that where we stop for the night? It's 10:19. We did a little overtime.
This could go for.
Mike, Matt, you had something else? One quick. Hold on, turn on.
In this whole conversation, I just want to give props to a character we haven't even brought up at all. BB-8.
Oh,
yes.
yes.
Come on.
Yes.
What a great droid.
Fantastic.
And such not a ripoff of R2-D2, which I thought was going to be hard to do.
It was awesome. It was awesome. So much expression. So it was definitely a move up as far as versatility. Oh, the lighter. Yes.
He's like, what did he say though? He said
thanks. It's after he gave him the base.
He goes,
Was that thumbs up or fingers up?
Yeah, the thumbs
finger?
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people are saying that's middle finger.
No.
No, it was a thumbs up.
I agree.
An agreeable thumbs up.
There's no middle finger in a galaxy far, far away. They don't know what the hell that is.
I just want to see a scene with 3PO, R2-D2, and BB-8. Just
It's
one
coming.
scene. You know, like
They're gonna
similar
go-
to how when they go to Jabba's palace in Jedi. I want something where they're just given this one classic alone time scene.
Oh, they're going to go on a little bit of a trek together, yeah. They're going to go on a mission together. It's going to be an all-droid scene. You'll see. And it'll be
3PO
amazing.
was perfect also.
3PO's always perfect.
Yeah, it was great, and I think you mentioned it, Frank, how it didn't, how like when R2-D2 woke up, it's like it was just all like embracing, like there was no competition between BB-8 and R2-D2.
Yeah, there was no slighting or anything. You can tell that over the last 30 years, they had worked together in some. They were whatever. They're just doing their thing. You know, there was no bad feelings here. We still love who we love, and now we know who we have to hate. So it's going to be good. It's going to be real good. All right, guys. Well, that's it for tonight.
Thanks for having me, gentlemen.
Hey, thanks for coming by, man.
I really was excited
May the
to talk
Force be
about
with
this
everybody.
stuff.
I would do this every night until Rogue One, and after that.
A year from now, the Rogue One episode.
You know, maybe we.
Are you guys excited?
Am I the
for
only
that?
person who's not looking forward to the anthology series?
I am.
Of what?
Like,
What do you mean, of Rogue?
yeah, I'm not as excited for.
Oh, I'm definitely not as excited, but I'm going to
Yeah,
see
I
it.
agree.
Like when it comes out, I'll see it, and I'm sure it'll be cool to see whatever. But it's not like I'm like, oh, I can't wait for it.
It's almost like all the Marvel spin-offs and stuff. I know that I was never, I didn't even see Avengers until 2 years after it hit theaters. But I saw X-Men. I don't think I saw the second X-Men in the. This is something different. Although, if it's not an official episode, I'll still be like, all right, let's go see it. But I'll always just be thinking about what the hell's going on in the storyline that we're
it's
following.
smart. They'll tie everything in. Like, there's going to be missing pieces in the anthology movies that will connect with the new trilogy.
You know, I haven't even thought
that would
of
be a
that.
smart way.
That would
be
definitely be pretty cool.
That would be.
So you're talking about stuff that comes in after the credits and stuff?
Easter
stuff
eggs.
that's sprinkled into the film that references what is going to happen through things that have already happened through 7, but also maybe possibly leading into 8, 9.
Just a bit of foreshadowing.
Yeah.
And of course, it's Disney. Yeah, they could have an end cutscene.
All right,
I wish we had an Obi-Wan episode.
They were
when he
talking
was
about that, weren't
on
they?
Tatooine.
If you want an Obi-Wan, there's actually a book out there. I think it's called.
God damn it, you and your reading, Frank.
No, it is.
I'm just kidding.
There's an Obi-Wan book. There's a Ben Kenobi book out there that pretty much just talks about his time on Tatooine as a hermit, how he tried to stay out of everything, but he was brought into a couple of the local skirmishes in there, not with the Empire, but just with the villagers, and of course he was within earshot of where this orphan boy Luke Skywalker was, because he had to look over him from a distance. make sure that everything was okay and the boy was kept all right. There's also a book that takes place between, I think it's called Heir to the Jedi, which is the story that is in between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, where you're able to see Luke's development between the two films and all that stuff. So there's some really good shit out there to read. Even though they're not going to reference to the expanded universe, it's a way to keep yourself going in the meantime. They're still great stories.
I am loving the Clone Wars and the construction between Anakin and Obi-Wan, and you can further see why Anakin turns and things like that. Granted, that's old news, but it's still interesting.
Dude, thank you for the call, Johnny. Talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Have a good night, boys.
Be well.
Take care, man.
Later.
All right, guys. Thank you so much all for tuning in. I can't wait to get this up on the podcast. It'll be a good one.
Excellent.
Anything else anyone want to say before we take off?
May the force be with you all.
And also with you.
520.
Love the new studio.
Loving it too.
This roof looks like it'll hold up.
No, this roof is gonna hold up, and we'll do some more stuff. I can't wait to hang things from the ceiling. It's gonna be great. Get some more lights in here, make this place a little bit more glowy.
I think you could put an X-wing right there. That'd be great.
We're gonna put X-wings and TIE fighters. It's gonna be a space battle scene dangling.
Nice.
We were thinking about how we can get a Death Star up in the ceiling, but we don't think it's going to work. So what we're going to do is
I want to get a big styrofoam ball. And,
you can get a what's a fathead?
Fathead. We're going to do that.
There you go.
I think right over there or right over
Why don't you
here.
guys get they have the 3D lights too, the deco lights, which look fantastic.
If we need to,
They're very small.
There's only so many lights we can have in here, Mike. And not only that, it casts shadows. We're gonna have stringed lights in here. We're gonna have action figures dangling from the ceiling, so we have to cast as little shadow as possible. And as you already see, we have red, we got blue, so we got Empire and Alliance. We can do something with that, play off of that a little bit, but we'll see what happens. You guys kick ass. We'll see you all soon. Have a great night.